far. I was telling them earlier in the fact that like I actually kind of got upset uh through a lot of the stuff on Twitter, and the fact that I felt that it was coming off very cancel culture, and the fact that it was very much attacking the kid, attacking the Canadiens. Believe me, the Canadiens deserve 100% the attack that they got, because of the fact that, as Kat mentioned, it really, like, whether the kid was told to renounce himself or if he had the intelligence to renounce himself, that tweet knew better than an actual NHL team. And the fact that it took away from so many people, and it also brought all of this back to light for the victim as well. It just was ridiculous. But at the same time, like, I felt like everything was so focused on the fact that of the kid and the team, that no one thought to think about the fact that this kid supposedly came into this team as a new kid and decided that he wanted to share this around with the entire team as a way to try and fit in. That is a social issue. If he feels the way that he needs to fit in is by showing a picture of a girl performing an act on him, like, and then having to give to them her identity afterwards to try and prove to them more, you also have a problem with that team. And the fact that they are encouraging that, the fact that he he didn't, I don't think he came into it with malicious intent. I think he came into intent and not thinking about that girl one iota. He was just thinking about what it could do for him, how it could make him seem cool around all of those guys. If he comes into that on that bus or whatever it was and shows that picture and then says to all of them, and their response is like, what the fuck's wrong with you, dude? Like, that's so fucked up. Then he's not going to do that. He's not going to do that again, because of the fact that he's not getting the response that he wants from it. You as a parent need to raise your kid and say, hey, you need to show women respect, the same respect that you would like to be given. Like, not to be crass here, but like, how many men would want a photo of them eating a girl out, going all around to a bunch of girls on a team? No one wants that as a human being. It doesn't matter if you're male, female, or anything in between. And so in the fact that you look at this as a singular problem between, this team and this guy, there's so many things with it. As a coach, you need to be like, that's not going to happen on my fucking bus. Like, this is not what we are about. And there's so many levels of this, and I think a lot of times we don't see it really being brought to light the same way, in the fact that, like, it doesn't really get charged here in the US. But I can't tell you, growing up, how many times I heard about girls that I knew and their nudes circling around a locker room. I can't tell you how many times I've been talked about in a locker room for no fucking reason other than the fact to rate how I looked on that day. And believe me, very little of it was ever complimentary. And that's the thing, is you have to go into something that's a societal issue and look at it and be like, what are we teaching our kids here? What are we teaching our boys here? And the fact that for so long it has constantly been, how many times have you gotten laid? How attractive? And then it doesn't even stop there. It goes, how attractive is she? I guarantee you how it went was, we can't see her face in this photo. How hot is she? What is her name? So we can look her up to see how hot she is, because it is also not the same level as if you were getting blown by a hot chick. It's a whole nother level that keeps on going up and up and up. So to just blame this kid or just blame this team is such bullshit. And it's a way to ride it out in a way of cancel culture, to just say, like, these people did wrong. Yes, they did wrong, but there's so many other problems with it. And there's so many layers to this, that if you really want this to change and you really want women to get respect, you have to start with the basics, and you have to start with teaching these kids what is right and wrong. Because otherwise, if you just yell at people and then on Twitter and then let it go away, that is not going to teach anything, and it's just going to empower the assholes that are the people that like to go into Kat's DMs and other people's DMs and try and say, oh, well, you guys just attack fucking men. That's not what it is. What it is the fact that there is a real problem, and denying it doesn't make it any better, but also try attacking something and then letting it go after that is also not the right thing. There is so many problems with it here, and I just think that denying the bigger part of it, like systemic racism, same thing. People want to attack one central issue, but they don't want to look at it as a whole, is really not giving the brevity that the situation deserves. And it's also doing a disservice to this kid who, if he really came into this without malicious intent, but you're giving him all of the weight of this entire issue on this one kid, that's also not fair to him either.